Welcome back. Here we'll describe how to handle payments with a focus on late fines. Typically, the member simply pays some or all of their late fine today. Enter only the amount they're paying right at this moment. Don't include anything they may have paid earlier today, since that's already been saved in the database. And that's usually all there is to it. Of course, sometimes things aren't quite that simple. Sometimes you need to reduce the late fine, and there are two general methods for doing that. The first way is only for the libraries that say tools are not simply due back on their due date, but, for example, by 10 a.m. on that date. After 10, they're late. Tool librarian knows which loans are due today or multiples of 7 days ago, and at 10 o'clock, will automatically bump up just those fines. Members usually know the rules and simply pay their calculated fines. But sometimes there are actually excusable reasons that a member triggered these clock-based fines. You'll want to ask your administrators just how liberally or how rarely your library wants you to tell Tool Librarian to ignore the clock and roll back this bump in late fines. So how do we ignore the clock? Simple. Click the Adjust button to reveal the Ignore Clock checkbox. If the box is grayed out, it means that none of the overdue tools had their fines increased today at 10. But if it's enabled, click it and you'll see that the total fine is reduced. Now choose a reason from this list. This option, Life Got in the Way, is for when something truly unavoidable delayed their return, like maybe the car blew a tire on the way or their child woke up with a fever. The other options are pretty much self-explanatory, except for Complained Unfair. Hopefully you'll never need to use this one since it's only needed to appease a member who is exclaiming obstinately that this fine is just not fair and they won't pay it. Your library might ask you to explain that the rule is there to give other members an opportunity to borrow the tools today, and perhaps to remind them that all members signed an agreement to abide by the library's rules. But other libraries might prefer you not to confront the member at all. Either way, when you do select this option, also add a member note describing the member's behavior, always in a tactful way. And in addition, let your library admins know if this is not their first time, or for sure if they were being abusive. But how would you know if this is their first time? Well, these numbers are counters. The system tracks counts for the reasons that are clearly or potentially caused by the member. And in fact, we see that Skylar has complained about this injustice once before. I mentioned earlier that there are two methods for reducing late fines. Let's move on to the second, which is used by all libraries. You probably already noticed the Forgive field, which allows you to reduce the fine amount for a number of reasons, again acceptable to different libraries to varying degrees. Forgiving a fine is entirely independent of ignoring the clock, and at times you might even use both methods together. After you enter a dollar amount to forgive, you explain why. Most are obvious or were covered already, but let's explore a few of them. Here, as before, something truly unforeseen happened, like illness of the member or family, being forced to work a late shift, or any of the legion of things life throws at us. The use of this option is very much dependent on your library's guidelines. This one is for when the member says they already returned the tool at their last visit. Unless the counter suggests that this is a pattern of behavior, we believe them since it surely happens that tools are sometimes missed during check-in. For this one, your admin will let you know when all librarians should select it on every late return today. Okay, that's all on handling late fines. So now let's say a few words about payments of fees from a tool's service ticket, which you may occasionally see atop a member screen. You can simply enter the amount paid and it's done, but the member may ask questions about it. To tell them more, You can copy the tool ID and go to that tool's record. And there, click on the Service Ticket tab to be able to tell them more. And finally, let's look very briefly at the libraries that charge annual membership fees. If you enter a 0, the system knows they have yet to pay the fee. To grant them an annual membership, enter a dollar amount or even an amount at the lifetime membership level. For the occasional person who is to be granted a free year of membership, enter 0.01, which, by the way, is the only time in Tool Librarian that you enter a decimal value in a money field. Okay, we've covered handling of payments of several types. The few we've not covered all follow the same pattern you've seen here. I hope that was helpful.